What's up, guys, and welcome to the next episode of Custom Corner. Today it's gonna be similar to last week. We're gonna have a look at some custom figures, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about them and what paints I used and maybe what technique I used on what areas to make it look the way it does. And we're gonna look at another set piece that I built a little while ago, but I just never did a video on it or anything. I took some shots on Facebook. It was in my recent entry for the battle show, battle show number 7. And the tutorial this week. Some of you guys might be depressed. I'm not really going super deep. I want to dedicate at least half an episode, maybe a whole episode to one of the next things that I want to do. So it's going to be like a week or two before I get around to that. But today is going to be a segment that I'm going to be playing around for the tutorial section. It's going to be called Ditch That Gimmick, and we're going to take one of those Hulk figures with the waist spring and the arm springs, and we're going to take that out. But I guess we'll get into it right now. On the first section of the video is going to be a few Transformers that I've done. I actually seen a few people start painting up their Megatrons and stuff, so I figured I'd pump out this video too and just join in, I guess. I did this a while ago. But I'm just finally now getting around to showing it off. I did RC and Optimus Prime too. These are all from the Robots in Disguise line. None of these are like first editions or anything. The only thing I did not paint on Prime yet is the head. I still haven't got around to painting the head yet. That's going to be the finishing touch. I really like how Megatron came out. And they can all switch to vehicle mode without any paint rub or chipping or any of that nonsense. So I won't be able to actually transform them on camera, but I'll transform them and show you guys what they look like in vehicle mode, all painted up and stuff. I guess real quick first we'll just look at RC here. Just a full repaint. I know I'm missing a few details. I'm still kind of doing touch-ups and stuff on these, because these are actually mine, so I can just take my time and just put them aside. Basically, you definitely need some little screwdriver or something to take these things all the way apart. I disassemble them fully and paint them that way. These I don't hand paint the primed color. I spray these. I'll hang them and mist them a few times and do a flat black. Excuse me. If that's the base that I want, the flat black, then I'll go with this Krylon here. It works just fine, and all my other paints lay down on it perfect, so with no problems sticking or any of that shit. And I also, the blue is this Testors One Coat Lacquer. It's like a paint for model cars and stuff like that. This one is called Star Spangled Blue. You can get these at your local hobby store, or really anywhere that sells the Testors paints or whatever. But this is the blue on RC and Optimus Prime. Like I said, I fully disassembled everything and then taped off what I didn't want and cut around everything and all that stuff. The silver was all brush painted, and that was Citadel's chainmail. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the name anymore, because they're doing a big change on all their paints, and all the names for all their paints are changing, I believe. So chainmail might not actually be the color anymore, but it's their darker silver. The other one's Mithril or something like that, I do believe, but it's the darker silver from the Citadel line. And the pink sections is a hot pink pearl Model Masters acrylic. This is what I use mainly most of the time. I really only use Citadels for like dry brushing because they're like a thicker, drier paint, like right out of the bottle. If you don't thin it out, they're like a thicker, like drier paint to me. So I tend to use these more for dry brushing and not like large areas where I'm gonna like heavily paint an area or something like that. I'll use the Model Masters. It's thinner right out of the bottle. You really most of the time don't even have to thin these out of the bottle. Sometimes they're even too thin out of the bottle actually. But this is what I'll swear by this shit. This shit works great. You can I cut down on a lot of prep work by using this stuff because I don't like dremeling down joints and stuff like that because it uglies up the figure sometimes, and I just don't like having that low spot in the shoulder from dremeling down the joint or whatever. But yeah, everything was basically rattle canned on this except for the pink and the silver. And like I said, I still got some little details that I want to do and everything, so I'll probably update this eventually. But we'll pull her out of here and we'll have a look at Megatron real quick. Basically same thing, I just fully disassembled them with my little screwdrivers and sprayed them with the flat black. Then I gave them a nice dry brush with the chainmail silver and lightly hit it in some areas with the mithril just to get a little extra shine because it's a brighter silver. The inner part of the body, like the torso, I did not paint. I left it the clear purple for like lighting purposes. Whenever I do pictures or something with it, I can have the light shine through it a little bit and it'll illuminate the inside of his body a little, and I think it looks kind of cool. But yeah, just a flat black base coat, fully disassembled, tape off what I didn't want painted or whatever, and dry brush the silver on there, and then on the other purple areas, like here on his forearm and on his legs down here, I used, first I put down Lich Purple. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but this purple right here from Citadel. And like I said, these colors might not be the same anymore, so try to get a good look at the color or whatever and try to like match it in your head or something, I guess. This, just a full coat of that on there. And then I dry brushed some of the, these are some really weird ass names. Harmagant Purple, I'm probably not saying that right either, but this is an old bottle too, this shit is ugly. But dry brush some of that on there. And then around the edges I flicked with the chainmail silver just to give it like some scratches and stuff like that, so it looked like he's been in battle. If anybody that knows, my armors, I don't do clean armors. Optimus Prime is probably like the cleanest looking armor I've ever done, and that's only because I haven't weathered the part that I sprayed red yet, or blue. Still going to do some deep purple details on the gun. The gun's kind of generic right now, just a flat black with some like silver weathering on it. I didn't paint this yet either. I just still not sure about that really. I'll probably end up painting it because that it just stands out. That's just too purple, that clear piece right there, so I'll end up painting that. He does have the red eyes. I don't know if my camera will pick it up. There you go, you can see a little bit, but I got up in there and painted his eyes red. And lots of people use like a magnifying glass and stuff for stuff like that, and I'd recommend that because I'm retarded. I don't feel I'm old enough to be sitting around with a magnifying glass painting shit, so I won't use one just because I just don't think it's necessary. But I mean, I guess if you don't want to strain yourself, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I sit here and paint heads and stuff, sometimes I get a headache and shit like that. But so I guess if you want to avoid that, I would get a magnifying glass, but I'm just a dumbass. Cool, there's Megatron. We'll pick him out of here real quick and get to Optimus. I don't know if the camera's really not picking up the metal flakes, I don't think very well, but the blue and the red, the blue on RC as well has like, they have like nice metal flakes in there and everything, so it actually looks pretty real, like actual like car paint and shit. But like I said, this is the Voyager class Robots in Disguise version. This thing just looked way too much like a toy and just not even close to show accurate. So I wanted to bring it close to show accurate, but still do a little of my own stuff. Painted the lights and everything. Same thing, flat black Krylon coat, just fully disassembled. And then I just taped stuff off, like I said before, same process. Sprayed this red. The label came off of this because you got to peel it off the cap, but it's called Revving Red. It's the same stuff as the blue stuff, the lacquers. But I used that for the red and that same blue. All the silver is done with by brush. None of that was sprayed, of course. Same silver as the chainmail and the mithril on this one. Wish I had some better lighting in here right now. Got a loose leg on this guy. Still haven't fixed that either, but that leg's awful loose and I don't really care for it too much. Like I said, the only thing I haven't painted on there is the head still. But, alright, cool. Well, I hope to give you enough information. Like I said, I'll be showing everybody how to paint all this stuff. Just give me time. It's only episode 2. It's just the start, so I don't want to, like, waste everything right away and all my material. So I guess I'll leave you with a few shots of these and we'll move on to something else. Sorry about that. I almost forgot to give you guys a look at these in vehicle mode. Like there's the pink on the arm, so you know it's the same figure. Probably gonna do the fucking details up there too. Yep, still looks really good in vehicle mode. I don't use this one in vehicle mode though. When they're in vehicle mode, I use the the smaller ones, the universe ones or whatever. When they're in vehicle mode, I should have brought her up here just to show you what it looks like with them. But I really wish it would pick up the metal flakes better. See, there's some of them. There's a bunch in the blue too. Pick up some of them. Yeah, but go in and out of vehicle mode. Real easy, not worrying about scratching anything or anything like that. See his little red eyes poking out of there. This thing is really cool, all painted up. I still don't understand why the hell they sent this thing out looking the way it did. Just that plain, disgusting looking plastic. Same thing with Optimus Prime, like the legs and like torso area, like the lower torso area and stuff. It's just ridiculous that they'll send that kind of shit out. Cool. Well, yeah, like I said, I almost forgot to give you guys a look at it in vehicle mode, but they look good, I think. Megatron's my favorite out of all of them, though, I think. Cool. Awesome. Well, like I said, I'll leave you with some photos, and we'll move on. Alright guys, let's ditch that gimmick. Bunch of you guys probably already have this action figure and probably don't use it for displays or anything much because of the gimmicks in the waist and both shoulders. Others probably have thought about buying it but just didn't because the gimmick ruins the action figure. Because like overall, this is a good figure, tons and tons of articulation, but out of the package you lose the waist and then both shoulders because the waist is spring loaded side to side, so if you turn it it'll just spring back, and then the shoulders, if you lift them up, they'll just slant, the arms slam back down, and who the hell wants that crap on their action figure? I know I don't. This first part, I don't know how many of you are going to be comfortable doing it because I don't take the waist apart to lose the waist to lose the waist gimmick because it's just too much, and I've done this a ton of times and never broken one, but I'm not going to say like you're not going to break it or something, so like if you do it, don't blame me. I've done it, but like I said, I've done it a bunch of times and never broken one. But for the waist, I just right underneath, not above this joint, but right underneath, I put my thumb here and a couple fingers on the lower portion back here too, and I squeeze, and then I just turn and keep turning until the spring loaded action stops. I've never broken anything inside. So now he's got the full waist articulation. You can do the same thing to the waist on the House of M. It's the same exact figure. Like the House of M doesn't have the gimmick in the shoulders, but it does have the Phillips head still in there to hold the shoulders together, and that's actually what keeps your joint tight in that figure too, is those screws. Anybody that has like loose shoulder joints on there, like House of M Hulk, check your screws in the shoulder joints on the back. But like I said, I just twist until it stops working. So basically I break it, you know what I'm saying? But I don't break it. Like nothing's ever broke. It's not like it works just fine. I'll be taking some shots of it and everything, and you'll see it's just fine. Anyway, now the second part, all of you guys can do with no risk of breaking your action figure. Well, I won't say no risk, but I don't see how you could break it unless like you're like straight like He-Man and that shit or something like that. But these springs are inside the shoulders. Yeah, I took them out already, but don't worry, it's not even going to matter. You'll still see exactly what you have to do without them in there. You don't, it's so easy. All you do is pull the arm sockets out, pull the arms out, and the spring falls out. But there's a Phillips head in there. You get yourself a little screwdriver like this, or any one that'll fit the Phillips head. Take that out of there. Now, and you see how it starts to separate there? What you want to do is you got more room to play up here underneath the peg because there's just like less body in the way. So you can start there and just start trying to maneuver this thing out of there. Sometimes it's a pain, and other times it just comes right out of there. Hold on, I gotta get a different grip on this thing. I hate trying to do this stuff on camera. It never works out right. There we go. So basically what I just did is just brought this back part down that I took the screw out of and just pried at it until it popped right out. I would recommend starting like down here toward the bottom of the pec. You just got more to move around, and you want to wiggle the arm around too, because you're gonna have to wiggle this around while playing with this section too a little bit, so you're gonna have to like maneuver that stuff. Sometimes a pain in the ass, but you'll get it out of there, trust me. The screw just falls off whenever you take this out, because right down here in this bottom section there's a hole for this end of the screw to just set in. Nothing's glued in or anything. I'll show you. See? And it just sets in there. Nothing's glued in. Just falls right out. Now when you put it back together, see, notice how one side's raised and the other side's goes in. You're going to want to put this piece on first over the raised section. Oops. Make sure everything's all lined up and it's sitting there. Then you're going to want to take this piece and slide it in there. everything will pop in place, and when you squeeze it together, everything will sit flush. Or if you'll know, oop, there's a screw, sorry. You'll know if it's not setting right because it'll be open like that. You just make sure everything's all set in the right spot. Set your screw. Now this screw will keep your joint tight, so you may have to, like, you know, messing around with it, moving it all the time. You may have to, like, check, like, periodically every great once in a while and make sure that the screw is still tight and everything. I mean, but other than that, you're good. See? Stays up there. It'll hold in all the positions. It's not like weak or anything. Do the same thing the other arm's just fine too. Hold in all the positions, just make sure the screw's tight. And now he's ready to go smash some shit. Cool. Well, I hope this helped you out, and I hope this makes your Hulk a little bit better. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I think it's from the Hulk Classics line, but I'm not sure, so correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody let me know. I didn't really do my homework on the actual action figure before I did the video, so I guess just let me know if I'm wrong, but I do believe it's from the Hulk Classics line. But cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that little segment. Sorry it wasn't more like an in-depth tutorial on like painting or sculpting or something, but I'm going to get to all that. But cool. Well, I'm going to leave you here now, and we're going to move on to something else. I'll take some shots of this guy. Alright guys, I figure while I got this Hulk out right here, we're going to talk about this one, because this is like basically the base I use, except for, I mean, I use the House of M, but same thing, just different head. So, before, minus the head, I mean, this is what it looked like. You know, and then, whack. Sculpted the hair. Just a flat black with I used a light ghost gray, like super light dry brush, just to bring out some of the details, because you other customizers, dude, I really hate doing black hair, because man, and like not highlighting it at all, it just like takes away. You can't like see any of the detail and any of the work you put into it. You really can't see much of the detail anyway, because my camera really sucks. Yellow eyes. I put a couple different shades of red on here. I gave them a black wash. And what I do with washes, like some people will take the wash and like put it on the figure and just like leave it there. I mean, sure, everything will go into the crevices, but you'll have like that film of that color on the whole figure or whatever. I don't like that shit. Even painting over it, I do not care for it. I won't do that. So what I do is I make my wash a little bit thinner so it doesn't like stick right away. I'll cover this damn thing, like saturated in whatever wash I'm going to use, and then let it sit there for like maybe a minute, the longest two, and then I'll take like a paper towel or a baby wipe or something and like rub off some of the excess and just kind of leave it where I want it, as opposed to just letting it sit everywhere and then having to cover it back up with more paint. The pants look weird for some reason. This is not, like, on camera, these pants look so weird. I don't know if it's my lighting in here, but they're just not, like, looking right. I don't know. This is not how they look. Whenever I'm looking at them above the camera, and they don't look like what I'm looking at through the through my little view here. But gave them black pants and gave them just a slight gray dry brush just to bring out some of the details, make them look worn a little bit. Went a little heavier on the gray around the like part that's coming out, folding off the inside of the pants. The wash is everywhere too. Feet, ankles, all that. I painted his toes, his toenails, and his, let me turn his wrist over here, and his fingernails. It's paint rub free too. This thing will go all day. I really need to get a tripod so I can start really showing everybody, because I don't think half the people that I tell that to like really believe me. Like, I will fuck this joint up right now. This is what you get when you get a custom from JD. I will work my ass off to be able to pose the shit out of my figures, because I love seeing you guys take pictures when you guys use my figures and stuff. Like, man, it just makes me feel like really good when I see that kind of stuff, and I want my figures to be durable enough to be able to withstand that kind of shit. I made his hair a little high because I just didn't want it to hang like maybe it was blowing or something, and plus I like, most people I sell my figures to now are like taking pictures and stuff now, and like joining the Facebook group and shit like that, because that's where I'll tell them to look at stuff, and then they'll go there, and then, like, you know, it's action poses. So I wanted his hair to be up a little bit, you know, like maybe the wind's blowing on it a little bit. I really wish you could pick up more of the details. And that's not red, that's like a little bit of gray. I guess it's picking up some of the shine from the light in here or something. Just lots of detail. This is a really good sculpt. I really like this. Like the wash, just so many places for it to sink into and bring out so much detail. This is going to go up on eBay too, by the way, unless somebody watching wants this thing. PM me or some shit. Cool, well, there's a little like side-by-side shot. Here, let me stand him up right. Let me stand him up right. Cool. Well, I hope you like my custom red Hulk. Like I said, I just on that Hulk, and he's out. He's out, so I figured I'd pull this guy out and show you guys what's up. I like his face and stuff, and the way his face looks and stuff. He looks crazy as hell. Awesome. Well, I'll take some shots and we'll move on. Alright guys, here's the dio piece I'm going to show you guys today. All it is foam, some like popsicle sticks, a couple backdrops from the Green Goblin figure I do believe it came with, some cheap craft paint, a couple LEDs, and the LEDs are up there with some just some like Velcro pieces that I put up there, attach one to the light and one up there so I can move them around and put them in different spots or whatever. The boards for the windows are just popsicle sticks with the ends cut off, and I just painted them up a little bit. I could have weathered them a little bit more. They look a little clean to be in here, but they do the trick anyway. And it's this blue like foam insulation you get like the hardware store. This right here I think is only like 3/4 of an inch or an inch or something like that. I don't really know exactly what size it is, but it's just the blue stuff. You'll see it if you go look at the insulation and everything. You get a pretty big sheet. But just the flooring is some like heavy. Whoa, I don't know what the hell that was. The flooring is just some that porous foam, but it's like really thick and like, I don't know, like super pressed together, so it's not like mushy like the other stuff. But the rest is all the blue the blue stuff there. But I just glued everything together. Like I glued all the walls down to the base, and then I glued the corner together over there and this top piece on there so I could put the lights on there. And then I just painted it all black, and then I wanted it to be really dark in here whenever I took pictures and stuff like that. It's awful dark in here right now. It's darker than I'd like it to be, but I didn't want the walls like to stand out and be really bright, so I gave it just a light like dark gray dry brush, and then in some of the corners and stuff like that I just gave it a mist of some flat black Krylon along the edges and the corners and stuff in there. It looks really good when in the pictures and stuff like that. But here, let me move this stuff out of the way. Then to you know, spruce it up a little bit, just put yourself a little canister in there. Oops. Couple crates or something. Oops, sorry, shaking. Throw a ladder in there, maybe throw this plank in there and lean it up against that or something. Then you just throw a couple figs in there. But I don't know, real easy to make. Like I said, just the blue foam and just normal stuff that all you guys have heard before, just black base and dry brushing and stuff like that. I just like to put the LED lights and the stuff and everything so I can get some different lighting. But like I said, you can put them, if you use the Velcro instead of like gluing them in or something stupid like that, you can put them in different places and move the lights around and stuff. Cool, well, I hope you guys like what you saw in this episode. Like I said earlier, sorry like there wasn't like a super like paint tutorial and stuff. I'm still trying to get that, but you guys will be excited and happy. Next episode, we're gonna make this guy. Next episode. I already showed you how to swap the Punisher boots. That's kind of why I did that to begin with. In the first video. In the first video I showed you how to swap the Punisher boots onto the Bucky cap. And next episode I'm going to show you guys how to turn that Bucky cap into a X-Force Deadpool, or you can do a regular Deadpool too, using the same techniques, but I'm probably just going to do another X-Force. There'll be an individual review of this and stuff too going up, so. And I'll put some pictures up on Facebook. Cool, well, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw, and next time we'll be painting this thing and everything, the whole 9 yards. I gotta scrape around and see if I can come up with a couple more pieces so I can actually show you guys how to put together the harness and stuff, but just in case, I'm gonna film a section telling you about how to do it with this figure and stuff for the next episode, just in case I don't come across more pieces to actually do it on camera. But we will get to paint the entire figure on camera and stuff, so I guess keep an eye out for episode 3, and take it easy, guys. Later.